So it's Saturday, December 28th. It's 2 degrees, so slightly warmer than when we were in the Antarctica. And as you can see, we are traversing the Drake Passage. And the captain says that we will be reaching Cape Horn tomorrow at 5 p.m. So it's been quite shaky today. Rocky, and the balcony is a bit wet. So this is the Drake, and it's not too bad. I wouldn't call it a huge Drake shake, but people were being rocked back and forth. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm on deck 2, heading towards the world stage for presentation, and here you can see the turbulent sea a bit better than off my deck, which is deck 5. It's not too bad, but it is a little bit rocky. It's pretty wild. You're definitely experiencing the trek shake, and I had a real hard time. A real struggle to open the door against this wind. During a drake shake. Other people are joining me. This evening, we each received a certificate, the Order of the Red Nose, for traveling to Antarctica. The weather and the landscape changed quite dramatically as we made our way to Cape Horn this morning. It was foggy at 9 a.m., but by noon, the skies had cleared, and we were entertained by a lot of giant petrels and albatross. Chilean Navy Second Sergeant Jose Luarte and his wife, 2 kids, and a cat by the name of El Calafante moved into this secluded lighthouse in 2022. The family came out to wave to us, and our captain sounded a horn in return. The Cape Horn monument depicts an albatross in flight and pays homage to sailors that perished attempting to round Cape Horn. The waters around Cape Horn are hazardous owing to strong winds up to 186 miles per hour, large waves, strong currents, and icebergs. These dangers have made it notorious as a sailor's graveyard. There is also a tiny chapel near the lighthouse. We received a certificate, the Order of the Mossback, for venturing around the tip of South America. Good morning. It's 8 a.m. and we have arrived in Ushuaia, Argentina. And we will be here until 3 p.m. Today I'll be joining a shore excursion called Beagle Channel by Catamaran, Lake Claire's Lighthouse, and Magellan Penguin Rookery. So here we are in Ushuaia, Argentina, and the Beagle Channel separates 2 countries, Argentina and Chile. And today we're going to sail down the Beagle Channel towards Lake Claire Lighthouse and towards a few other smaller islands where there are imperial cormorants, sea lions, and a Magellan Penguin Rookery. It took a little over 2 hours to get all the way to the Magellan Penguin Island. Our first stop was an island full of imperial cormorants, which looked like penguins. Les Eclairs Lighthouse is also known as the lighthouse at the end of the world. It is still in operation, remote controlled, automated, uninhabited, and it is not open to the public. For US $40, I purchased a photo package. This included the photo scene here, a photo frame, and a USB stick with loads of photos from Ushuaia and Antarctica. They also emailed the photos to us. It was a fantastic deal. Souvenirs of Ushuaia and Antarctica are also sold on board, all at a very reasonable cost. By the time we got back to the ship, it was time to sail away, and there was no time to visit this charming town at the end of the world. I wish we could have stayed overnight. Goodbye, Ushuaia, and I hope I get to return someday, and then for sure, I will check out your beautiful town. Adios. It's 10 a.m., and we have arrived in Punta Arenas, Chile. Punta Arenas is a tender port, so we have to take tender boats to get ashore, and we will be here until 6:30 p.m. Today, I'll be taking a shore excursion called Off the Beaten Track, Magdalena Penguin Reserve, and right now we are on a ferry going across the Strait of Magellan. Snacks were provided on the ferry, but I wish they had included ginger candy. Whoa! Whoa! This is rocking. Definitely not for those prone to seasickness. Whoa! Just look at that. Oh my God. We have arrived at Isla Magdalena. They're very strict. Absolutely no food or selfie sticks are allowed. Penguins here. So we have to stay within the lines here. No food is allowed on the island. Can't get closer than 2 meters or 6 feet from the penguins. On Isla Magdalena, I would see some of the most interesting penguin behaviors. This kissing or greeting lasted more than 30 seconds. And for, I guess this four must be of a family. Yes. Look at them. These are kelp gulls, and they are the predators of penguins. I guess they like to eat their eggs. There. Baby kelp gull and the parents. A lot of baby gulls. So we have to walk along this rocky trail, stay between the two green lines, follow this group. They rush us like crazy. We can't stop anywhere, almost anywhere, to the lighthouse. And on to the other side, of this island where they pick us up. We're only allowed 1 hour. This is a Chilean squaw. She's nesting right now. And I think there's another one over there. So they're dotted here and there. Their nests are dotted here and there along the hillside. Leading up to the lighthouse. After that wild ride on the Strait of Magellan, you can see how rough the seas are and how we were tossed and turned, and many people were sick. So I'm going to take a walk around the town, and you have this whale tail, humpback whale tail, and it says I crossed the Magellan Strait. There were still a couple of hours before we sailed away, and there were locals offering tours, but I was feeling queasy from the 3-hour rough ferry ride, so I walked down the street a little bit and returned to the ship. Well, this is the last night of 2024, and we are heading towards the Chilean Fjords tomorrow. Tonight there's a New Year's Eve party, and I went for a 1-mile walk around the promenade. I surely will miss this place.
Here we go, 15 seconds. Now with me, 3:30.
So, just taking a look at this map, we were here at Cape Horn, and that night, that's when my iPhone broke down, and then we traveled up the Beagle Channel to Ushuaia, and I actually took a tour that took me to see the Magellanic penguins and other things, and then we traveled up this way to Punta Arenas, is where I was yesterday, and I went to that island on the Magellanic Strait of Magellan, and now we are traveling up here along the Patagonia coast, and we will arrive at the Beagle Channel, so a deep channel in here, this afternoon. Then we go back out to Pacific Ocean and we continue towards the Chilean Fjords. I believe these are the Chilean Fjords. And tomorrow, and then the next day, in 2 days' time, we'll arrive at Puerto Chacabuco. The scenery is incredibly beautiful as we sail along the Sarmiento Channel to Brujo Glacier. Brujo Glacier is also known as the Wizard because of its shape and the way it is sculpted by the wind. It is a tidewater glacier and it flows down to the sea, calving icebergs into the fjords. The glacier has a dramatic wall of blue ice that is more than 1 mile wide. Our captain is turning the ship around so that people who are on the starboard side, that is, people who are on the right side of the ship, can see the glacier too. Earlier, they spotted some Patagonian dolphins, which I haven't seen yet, and many people are looking for them. Hope to see them today. There's an expedition ship parked on the left side, and with my binoculars, I could see passengers walking along the shore of the glacier. We spent the next day cruising through the spectacular Chilean Fjords. Good morning. We have arrived in Puerto Chacabuco in Chile. It's a beautiful morning, and they have ready the tender boats ready to take us to shore. Today, my shore excursion is northern Patagonia and Coyhaique City. We are heading to Coyhaique City, which is 1.5 hours drive from the port. Coyhaique City has a population of about 60,000. It is located in the Aysén region, which we are right now, about 25 miles to the Argentine border, and it is surrounded by rivers and mountains.
Right now we are entering to Aysén Port. This is the second biggest town in the region, with an estimated population of 20,000 inhabitants.
So we have arrived in Coyhaique City in northern Patagonia, and we are in a main square, and we're here for 45 minutes. So check it out. Very nice handicrafts, and 1,000 Chilean pesos to $1 US. Made of Chilean wool. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful. So across the street from the square that we arrived at to this plaza, the Armas is over there. We only have about 20 minutes left before we have to get back on the bus by 11. So let's check this out real quick. Beautiful roses. I think this is downtown Coyhaique. I walked from the square that I arrived in over here, not far, about 100 meters maybe, to check out the town real quick before I have to go. Pharmacy. No. They have these beautiful sculptures on both ends, I guess to denote the beginning and the end of the mall. Alright. Early summer in northern Patagonia. Look at the beautiful flowers. Wildflowers. Well, we are at the Rio de Simpson National Park on our way back from Coyhaique City back to the port, and we're in the best time of year because lupines are in full bloom everywhere. It's not too many here, but we pass through fields and fields of lupines, and those are wild rhubarb that grow everywhere, as you can see. Alright, we are at a lookout in the Rio Simpson National Park. I'm not sure what this is. Can't remember what she said. Is this a rapids? Does it get much more rapid down there? But you can see lupines growing everywhere. Yes, it does get, yeah, I can see the rapids. So we have arrived at a farm. This family owns this farm, and they have gotten into tourism, and so they're offering snacks of homemade empanadas and wine, Chilean wine. So we'll be here for half an hour. So beautiful, so peaceful. So we're going to have our snacks in there, and while waiting for our table to be set up, I'm just taking a walk around. Look at the flowers. All the birds. It's beautiful, so beautiful. Here are the empanadas that we waited a long time for. Goodbye, Puerto Chacabuco. And here are the beautiful Patagonian fjords. And if you look closely here, you'll see a salmon farm. Salmon is the second largest export in Chile. And unfortunately, it is not good for the fjords or the environment because they are farming non-native salmon. However, salmon farming is very good in this area because of the cold waters. But when salmon gets out, they are not supposed to be here. The species of salmon are not supposed to be here. Plus, that's the contamination from their waste and all that. So, when I attended lectures on fjords, they talked about this happening in Chile and also in other places like Alaska, of course. Really, really bad for the environment. But it's what it is, right? Tomorrow we'll be in Puerto Montt. It's such a beautiful evening. We have sailed from Puerto Chacabuco through the Patagonian fjords, the Chilean fjords, and tomorrow we will arrive in Puerto Montt, our last port. Then we have one sea day, and then we leave. I always feel sad to go, but I'm also ready to go to my kitty-cats to get my iPhone fixed. Back to life. No regular life. Good morning. It's 8 a.m. and we have arrived in Puerto Montt. We will be here till 4:30 p.m. Today I'm taking a shore excursion called Symphony of Lakes and
The
Volcanoes.
Republic started in 1810, but the Republic also started to think about bringing people here to make a better economy and also an agricultural economy. So these two guys, together with the famous agent Vicente Pérez Rosales, they create and they design this selective immigration. Selective immigration. So the Chilean government went to Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. On those times, you remember there was the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. So they went there to convince the farmers to come to the southern part of the world just to farm and grow, the agriculture. Right? So how they convince them? For sure, land. 80 acres per family. Right? They give them oxes. They give them also seeds and machines also to work here, for the first years. But also with the first boat, they were bringing a lot of machines. And year after year, there were coming more machines and more Germans. So this selective immigration started in 1852 to 1875 was the lake region were common disturbance, and then they were getting more up to the Biobío region, also to Valdivia, the river region, Araucanía region, and Biobío region. So the selective immigration ended in 1910.
It took us 1.5 hours to get to Osorno volcano from the port. Osorno volcano is an inactive volcano. There has not been any volcanic activity in over 100 years. On January 19, 1835, during the second voyage of the Beagle, Charles Darwin witnessed an eruption of this volcano and he recorded it in his journal. We only had an hour to spend here, and I decided to take the lift to the top of the mountain for US $20. We are going to the Petro Falls. I'm looking for the three animals: the gray fox, the opossum, and the little deer called the udu or something. The little deer. It's less than. It's a bit more than a foot tall. I think this is the Lover's Lane and it takes 25 minutes. Don't know if we have time. As you know, we're always pressed for time. And we only have, oh my god, I only have 35 minutes left, so I don't know if I can do it. Yeah. So we are at the Patagonia. Wow. We can go through the rapids here. Unfortunately, this is horsefly season, and these guys are big. They're like the size of a quarter, and they're attacking us. Even though somewhat the guides sprayed me, but oh god, they're just awful. Anyway, here's a view of the Petro Falls on the other side. It's a really nice view. The scenery is amazing. Just look at it. Handicraft store. We have 10 minutes before we have to get back on the bus. I didn't see the gray fox, the opossum, or the urdu, but I think this is a hawk. So part of our tour is to have lunch at this restaurant, and our guide says it's owned by his family. So he wants some good reviews. The food was delicious and the service was fantastic. After lunch, we walked the grounds with the gorgeous Osorno volcano in the background. Okay, we are in Puerto Varas, and we're here for half an hour, and this is a very touristy place. It's also known as the town of roses. The roses are everywhere. It's really pretty. It's charming. And so there's a nice handicraft market just down the street a little bit, and a casino. Here's the handicraft store. A mall. Handicraft market. So, we sail away from Puerto Montt, our last port, and what a spectacularly beautiful shore excursion I had today. Symphony of lakes and volcanoes, and how much I learned about the geology of this area, the volcanoes and the earthquakes they've had. The guide was impressive. His English was excellent, and he could speak fluently in German. And it's just an awesome day, and it was so warm. It was supposed to be about 77, but it really felt like about 85. And that's our ship honking goodbye to Puerto Montt. Absolutely beautiful sunset tonight. This is our last day, and what a beautiful day it is. The captain has announced that it will be a very hot 88 degrees in Santiago tomorrow, and we will arrive at 5 a.m. I forgot to mention in my embarkation video that we had to hand in our passports December 19, one day before Puerto Madryn. This is to facilitate our entry to Argentina, the Falklands, and Chile. Today our passports were returned with stamps from Chile and the Falklands. I will always treasure them, as I will always treasure this amazing cruise. Here are a few of my favorite people on board the Oosterdam. Adi and Odie, my stateroom stewards, they took fantastic care of me. And Florence, my favorite person in the Lido market. We met on the Rotterdam in April 2020. Good morning from Santiago, Chile. We arrived very early and it's now 6:30, and I'm getting ready to head down to the world stage, as I will be taking a shore excursion on my way to the airport. A very long day, 8.5 hours. So, talk to you later. So, we have arrived in Vino del Mar, which means vineyard of by the sea. This is the second, and Valparaiso is the third most visited cities in Chile after Santiago. And we are going to visit a museum, and our guide mentioned something about Easter Island statues. The Funk Museum was named after a German physician who was based in Chile. It is considered one of the most beautiful museums in Chile, with many exceptional archaeological pieces. You can see a moai from one of the Easter Islands or statues from the Mapuche period. Easter Island is also known as Rapa Nui, and it became a part of Chile in 1888. Alexander Selman, a British trader who had acquired significant land holdings on the island, sold his interest to the Chilean government.
It's given the right time.
That's the flower
Would you
clock.
believe me if I told you it's a Swiss clock? it was built in Switzerland, right? In that country, they make these and feel proud of being Chilean. Okay. Every 21st of May, all the heads of the country, the president, for example, gives a speech in the Congress, all the congressmen, the military men, the commanders in chief, everybody's there, and then they come here to watch
the commanders-in-chief, they stand on those stairs to watch the whole parade. And after that, of course, they pay a visit to the fallen ones. Okay?
Valparaiso is known for its steep funiculars, colorful cliff-top homes, and lively street art scene. During the 19th century, European immigrants left their mark on the city's architecture.
Well, for example, in this case, you see yellow, pink, white. It depends in that case on the community, because those are apartments. Okay, that is decided by the community. You can paint your house any color you want. Okay. If it's a government building, it's the same thing. You apply.
Look at this. Look at the colors. Amazing. And the architecture. And look at the homes on the hill. So cool. This is the city of Valparaiso from the lookout. So we are at this estancia, I suppose, to have lunch and a horse show. And you see them on the horseback rodeo. After lunch, we were taken to the airport. I took a flight to Lima, Peru, and then to Atlanta, where I stayed overnight before boarding my final flight to Winnipeg. Altogether, it took 40 hours. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so very much for watching. If you have any questions about this cruise or anything travel related, please feel free to ask in comments below. If you haven't watched the entire 5-video series, here they are. 3 days in Buenos Aires pre-cruise, boarding and the first 4 ports, Falkland Islands, my favorite port, and Antarctica, the reason we are all here. I have placed the links in description below. Thank you so very much once again. Goodbye and happy travels.